yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light.
Well, a Merry Christmas to everyone. Here we are again on the Isle of Man, on Manx Radio more specifically, celebrating Christmas in the way that we know best. When I say we, I'm talking about Manx Radio specialists. Now, you might not have come across all of them, but if you listen on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday or Friday evening on Manx Radio, you will hear the specialist music programmes, which brings you what we like to think is something, what can we say, a little classier than during the normal output. Is that fair? I don't know.
Very carefully.
We'll say that for now, just in case. We won't say any more than that.
Special, perhaps.
Special. That is a good word, Ian. That is a good word. So we have, if you go on a Monday night, you'll have Ian Cottier with Time for a Brass. Say hello, Ian, and a happy Christmas.
And a happy Christmas to you and to all our listeners out there. I assume there are some listeners out there.
We like to think so. Even on Christmas Day, we like to hope there might be one or two knocking round. On a Tuesday night, you can go all that's best in folk from the Isle of Man and around the world with John Barker. Happy Christmas to you.
Happy Christmas, Howard, and happy Christmas to all of our listeners.
Marvellous. On Wednesday is a split decision now. Sadly, Andy Wint can't be with us this evening. Indigestion, he tells me, but he all starts eating too early for Christmas. But I think I've got a couple of country tracks to play. So we have country music with Andy Wint, and then we also have Ernie Thorn, who is known primarily at first for opera, Ernie, but you also do your own eclectic selection now.
I try to include various items from all different genres, which you wouldn't normally expect to hear on a radio station. So it's a surprise programme, I think, the eclectic one. But the opera is usually pretty much stuff that people know. We've heard it on adverts and things. So
that's true. Actually, quite a lot of opera goes on adverts these days. Indeed. Yeah, Thursday night, well, that is a night where you will find a little light music, and sadly Morris isn't in the best of health at the moment, so all of us around the table are wishing Morris a speedy recovery and hope he'll be sitting at the Christmas table with us here next year for the very special Christmas programme. And then Friday night is Jumping In, which rotates with my own programme, or at least the old maestro Jim Caine, our dad, used to do as well. Sweet and swing and jumping in, modern and contemporary jazz, which of course to do with Brother Chris down the far end of the table today on this.
Hello,
there he is.
Christmas, you must be crackers. I mean, there must be crackers, but obviously you're not crackers for listening in. Have a wonderful Christmas, everybody.
Indeed. So here we all are. We are loaded with, not with turkey and all the rest of it, because the Manx Radio budget doesn't run to that. But what it does run to, I am pleased to say, are hot sausage rolls. Homemade, Ian, you're right. Homemade hot sausage rolls. And hang on, I'll just try one. Wait a minute. Not bad at all. Hot sausage rolls, Satsumas, hula hoops, the Christmas choice for Manx Radio at Christmas, and some Nosecco, which John will open in just a moment. But I suppose we better start off, as it is a specialist music programme, with a bit of music. So we'll go in order, why not? Monday evening is brass music by and large. Ian Cottier are, how many years, Ian? 40?
It's 45 and a half.
45 and a half years.
I've got to the stage where I have to count them in segments now.
So you're going for the 50 years now. You're aiming for the half century of Time for Brass.
I can't see it.
Well, I don't think you've missed a programme in all that time. It's been every Monday evening. I know going back in the days, the specialist music programmes didn't used to be broadcast in the summer at one stage because it was thought that, I don't know why, people didn't like their specialist music in the summer but did in the winter. Never worked that one out. Happily,
I was going to make that point, Howard, that a certain producer or higher up than producer...
Higher up, yeah, above our pay grade.
He once ventured the comment to me that people don't listen to brass bands during the summer.
That's an odd one. It's an odd one.
And of course, for folk music, they're all like working on the land, I suppose.
Well, of course. And for jazz, well, they'll still be just not out of bed because they've been up all night doing something. I don't know about opera, but who knows?
I think they're probably out in the open air listening to brass bands live rather than on the radio is what they're doing, perhaps.
Either way, you've been listening to it for an awfully long time, really enjoying it. Get us going with a piece of music. What's your first choice this evening, then?
Well, this may take a little while to explain.
Go for it.
For a very short piece of music. There's less than 2 minutes of it.
Oh, gosh. That is quite short, actually. Yeah.
And it's a feature which was the centenary concert for the magazine British Bandsman, which was launched, I think, in 1887, and in 1987 there was a special concert at the Albert Hall, and it was obviously very well attended by the cognoscenti of the brass band world, and there were special people there, and the special people actually got together. 4 of them played a quartet, which you're going to hear tonight, so that you won't find this anywhere else, just this special little track. But it is the 4 consecutive principal cornets of Black Dyke. Willie Lang, Maurice Murphy, Jim Shepherd, and Philip McCann. Now,
There we go.
and the point was that they would all get together unrehearsed, and I think you can discern that from the music. They'd get together unrehearsed and play a piece that had been specially arranged for the 4 of them. The Flight of the Bumblebee.
The Flight of the Bumblebee. It always goes like the clappers, this one. And this one, do you say just a minute and a half or under 2 minutes?
Less than 2 minutes.
Less than 2 minutes. The Flight of the Bumblebee. There you go. Stand back or sit down or just take it easy, because this is going to go, I suspect, quite quickly. Take it away. There we go. It does go like the clappers. How on earth they get their fingers to move that quickly is totally beyond me. Must admit, amazing speed.
I was told a story about that piece of music. BBC Radio 3 presenter was about to play that, and he was very concerned that he was going to spit his teeth out trying to say the name of the composer. So he was very careful that he introduced it as Rimsky-Korsakov's Bum of the Flight Will Be.
Those used to be rip your corsets off in our house, wasn't
Eric Morecambe, famously, yeah.
Well, if my piece was a little short, I'll throw in an anecdote if you like.
Oh, go for it,
Yeah,
go for it.
Because the 4 gentlemen who were all principal cornets of Black Dyke at the moment, and 3 of them are now playing in the Great Bandstand in the Sky. They first of them, successively, was Willie Lang. And the story goes that wherever he went, he took his cornet with him. And he was actually the commander of a tank during the Second World War, and complained that not only did he survive without injury, but the Germans, damn it, a ricochet dented his cornet.
You don't want that in war, do you? Your cornet dented.
Oh, it's sacred. But yes, and they were all very, very special gentlemen. Willie Lang, I've spoken of. Maurice Murphy had a huge career in orchestras in London. Jim Shepherd, he was an icon of his age, and Philip McCann also. But Philip McCann's still around and still is conducting.
Still conducting?
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Right, it's that time, I think, having had the exhausting flight of the Bumblebee, that we opened, I think we'll get Mr. Barker to do this, because he did it very well last year. He didn't manage to either shower everyone with bubbles, or indeed lose the cork, or damage the ceiling by flying the cork off through the glass. Or
He hasn't brought his sabre this year, I noticed.
Well, I think it's all down to the quality of the...
That's it, foil. See, he's got
the drink.
He's got, it's a challenge, this. He's very good. He's get the foil off. That's it, foil's off.
The foil's off.
Foil's off, and we've got the best Manx Radio glassware here, and by that I mean compostable plastic, because we like to be green. And look at this, he's doing very well. Hang on, here we go, stand by. Oh, yep, I can hear it.
Are we ready?
Yep. Oh, great shot.
You missed me.
I think I took the fire alarm out.
Well, that was spectacular. Yeah. Well, we enjoyed that. Good job. Good job. It's Nosecco. Well, yes, because obviously we're a very responsible station, and so we will not be drinking and driving. So we're having a Nosecco, in case anyone's wondering. Thank you very much, John. And to keep our whistles fairly or relatively wet in any case. And once we get one, we'll just toast. We'll have a quick toast for Christmas. I'm not too sure how we can actually clink plastic glasses, so I'll probably go to the effects library afterwards and dub in a nice clinking effect.
Everyone could say clink at the same time.
Oh, that's a good idea. Right, here we go then. Right, and he's got one, you've got one, John's got one.
But one little complaint I have, these Max Radio hula hoops are too crunchy.
They are very crunchy, I must admit, yeah.
And,
they almost sort of peak too much.
The soundtrack is going to be... well, I can't eat them with the microphone in front.
Look at that, that works. Oh, well, there's one there.
Don't know. Thanks for that.
Okay, gentlemen, right, here we are then. So a very Merry Christmas to you all around the table and to everyone else around the room. And classes together. 3, 2, 1. Clink! Worked perfectly. Right, John, you're next, our folk specialist. And also, I know you travel widely going up and down the country going to folk festivals, as well as being highly active on the Isle of Man itself.
Well, you've got to make the most of retirement, I do feel.
Totally.
So I've spent far too many days in classrooms to not take the most of the being outside now. Even just today, actually, just before recording this, I was on my mountain bike in Thalty Will Plantation and saw a wallaby there. That's
wow.
So they're travelling wildly now.
Well, they are. They're spreading across the island. Someone told me they'd seen one on the outskirts of Onken.
Yeah. I've seen pictures of them around Groudle.
Yeah. Which is amazing. I have seen them over the mountain, but I know they have been spreading
over the mountain.
Well, actually on the mountain, yes. It was actually by Brandywell. One came out in my car last year or so, coming back at night, coming over the mountain, and it was one of those ones. It was been and gone before I knew what it was, and then once I drove on and stopped the car, I thought it was a wallaby. Missed him. He got away by a whisker, as they say. Any good festivals this year?
Yes. Well, I went to my regular one, which is Shrewsbury Folk Festival, which was particularly excellent. The weather was glorious, 5 days of really good music, and very, very nice indeed. I went to another one that I go to sometimes, Saltburn, up in the northeast of England, which is actually where I'm from originally. And I had a stinking cold all of that one, so I didn't quite enjoy it quite as much as I should have done. But no, it's all going well.
That's what we like to hear. Give us a first track then. What would you got? What's your first choice for us this evening from the world of folk, which is pretty broad these days? It has to be
it is certainly broad. But for my show next week, I was looking at my favourite albums of 2025, really, and this one came up, which is an album by Trip, which is a band based in Scotland, but it does feature our very own Isla Collister on fiddle, and they produced a new album this year called In Terror's Keep. And it's a great album. And what I like about Trip particularly is that their guitarist also does songs. So it's not just tunes all night, which they're wonderful at, but their songs are really, really good as well. He's called Alice Mackenzie, and this is actually a song written by Status Quo. I was quite taken aback by
the mind boggles.
First realised. And it's a song that's called Blessed Are the Meek, and it's a song about a man and a woman. Well, in fact, 3 men and 3 women. The first 2 are Adam and Eve. And the last 2, very strangely for music, perhaps, are Edward and Wallace Simpson. And it's stories of these 3 couples through time. And they've made it into their own piece of music very much. It doesn't sound anything like Status Quo. And I do believe that on Spotify now, the Trip version is up above the Status Quo version. So they've certainly made it into their own song.
Here we are.
know the story about a woman and a man in a garden living free. The only danger was a stranger by a tree, selling apples by the score. Blessed are the meek, blessed are the true lovers. It's anybody's guess, really more to this, where it's gonna go. I better make a break before we get in big trouble. I'll look out for you, you look out for me, the way it's gonna be. Another story about a woman and a man. The only difference is the time. He had a lover, she knew his long hair was his strength, and so he cut her all off for love. Blessed are the meek, blessed are the true lovers. It's anybody's guess, really more to this, where it's gonna go. I better make a break before we get in big trouble. I'll look out for you, you look out for me, the way it's gonna be. Another story about a woman and a man, and who can say if it's right or wrong. He was the new king in the making, but he said, I'm gonna give it all up for love. Blessed are the meek, blessed are the true lovers. It's anybody's guess, really more to this, where it's gonna go. I better make a break before we get in big trouble. I'll look out for you, you look out for me, the way it's gonna be. Gotta do something seriously. Oh, oh, I can't ignore it any longer. Oh, oh, I gotta do something seriously. Oh, 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 oh. Blessed are the meek, blessed are the true lovers. It's anybody's guess, really more or less, where it's gonna go. I better make a break before we get in big trouble. I'll look out for you, you look out for me, the way it's gonna be. Blessed are the meek, blessed are the true lovers. It's anybody's guess, really more to this, where it's gonna go. I better make a break before we get in big trouble. I'll look out for you, you look out for me, the way it's gonna be. Blessed are the meek, blessed are the true lovers. It's anybody's guess, really more to this, where it's gonna go. I better make a break before we get in big trouble. I'll look out for you, you look out for me, the way it's gonna be, the way it's gonna be.
There we are. Blessed are the meek. Status quo originally, but thereby Trip. And it sort of, it does give us that hint, as you say, of this great crossover you were talking about. And that in folk now, it seems to be, and particularly since you've been running the folk show, there's so much of the music where you think, I know I hadn't heard of electro folk before and such like, and things which would cross over. I think some of it we could get away with playing and jumping in sometimes.
Oh, I think certainly there is all sorts. I mean, brass bands feature quite a lot on folk tracks as well. There is a lot of crossover, but that's a healthy scene, I think, really, and lots of young people playing the music. Well, sadly, perhaps young people playing the music to an older audience. It tends to be the situation in a lot of folk gigs these days. But no, it's. I mean, that's reflected in some of the artists we've had over on the island this year playing. I've seen some fantastic gigs, obviously at the Institute in Laxey, but also at the Centenary Centre and Erin Arts Centre. There's been really good crowd of musicians coming over.
Seeing as you brought the subject of brass bands and other forms of music up, I would say there is no form of music at all which is not grist to the brass band mill.
Yeah.
And either whole bands, smaller groups, or soloists. And the range of stuff you would hear from a brass band now are quite incredible. Yeah. And there's obviously a lot of individual research going on by program makers and recording companies.
Well, I'm from the other side as well, because say the band from the northeast of England, folk band, the Unthanks, they did a whole album with the Brickhouse and Rastrick band, and they arranged songs, between them, if traditional folk songs and better known songs with that folk tinge in the voices as well, perhaps. Yeah.
And thinking of folk, we were just down at the London Jazz Festival, and Fergus McCready was playing that, very folk influenced.
Yeah, I mean, Fergus is a wonderful Mercury Award-winning pianist, youngest chap on his 5th album now, and was fortunate enough to take his group and a grand piano up to Hebridean cottage and spend a month up there to get the inspiration to write and record all the music. So fantastic. It was a really good concert, wasn't it?
It was.
In the wonderful Union Chapel, which is
it is. Well, I've never been, but I've seen plenty of programmes
place
on BBC 4 with live from there.
And it's a great venue. Not only is it still working as a church, but it's a comedy venue, it's a jazz, a folk, a classical music, a opera venue. Everything goes on there, all kinds of entertainment. But the place is actually a fantastic character of building to be in as well, and a great acoustic.
It is amazing stuff. Amazing. I suppose, Ernie, when it comes to, like I said, with eclectic, certainly, well, you could cover any of these bases, really, I suppose.
Cover all of them, yes. The slate is absolutely clean, just whatever I fancy at the time. First track is actually a Christmas item.
Lovely, yeah, why not?
It's got the opera connection. The song was written by an opera composer. The performers on this, there's 3 classically trained, 2 tenors and a baritone, and a pop singer who were brought together by Simon Cowell in 2003. It's Il Divo, and it's Oh Holy Night.
Oh Holy Night it is.
The stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Saviour's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error
very fine indeed. And it's what do you find you sort of listen to at home then, Ernie? I mean, do you mix and match? Is it just do you play music which sort of, suits the hour, suits your mood?
I have all sorts of things. Sometimes it's a bit dangerous to have all different types of music in the car because some music makes you drive slowly, others make you drive
You're absolutely right, yeah.
far too fast. But no, I listen to all sorts of things. My son was very much into heavy metal, so I've got a number of Metallica and Whitesnake and AC/DC albums that I listen to bits of occasionally. Very widespread.
And you're right, we often refer to that on Jumping In. I don't know whether John or Ian, you think, again, talking about car music, because a lot of people listen, if they're listening to music now, they might listen at home, but it's more likely than not, particularly the younger folk, will be either, listening in the car or listening via headphones when they're out via their phone, whatever. For driving, again, we play some sort of jazz, and I think we often say, well, it's not a car track. It's not the sort of music you'd want to really or could enjoy on the car because it's just, you couldn't really concentrate enough and listen to it enough to enjoy it. Whereas other tracks, good swinging tracks, whether it's a brass band or whether it's a good upbeat sort of folk number, you think, yeah, you could see yourself bowling along a country road to those. Do you anyone else ever think about that?
I suppose to some extent, because some tracks just don't work because their dynamics are too big, so you don't hear the quiet parts in a track, do you, if you're in the car? But sound systems are better than we used to have to sort of balance the CD in the dashboard, aren't they, these days?
That is true, And we often talk about dynamics when it comes to the brass band, Ian.
Oh, very much so. And it's a problem that we have with the radio programmes because brass band have such a wide dynamic from an absolute whisper to something that has the plaster coming off the ceiling. And electronics can't handle it. And so you get a kind of compressed dynamic, which really isn't as effective as it ought to be.
No, you never get the full, and I think, again, things have improved an awful lot, but it gets down to what I know all of us around the table would know. There's nothing to beat listening to live music. If you go out, whether it's brass band, whether it's going to the opera, whether it's a folk gig, jazz gig, whatever, you can't actually beat listening to live music in situ for all sorts of reasons. Like I said, Andy's not with us this evening, but he has actually nominated a couple of tracks. Do we have anyone else actually listen? Do you ever listen to any with your eclectic head on, not your opera head, Ernie? Do you ever listen to any country or not? Is that something?
Yeah. Well, yes, so.
Ticks into your bag? Because I must admit, it's not something I do listen to a bit of folk and I listen to classical and jazz. I never get round to sort of country particularly.
The only thing you'd have to say is that when you were saying before about brass might be influenced or able to cope with any style of music, pretty much all of our programmes have influences from all of the other styles of music. And I know you're saying you don't listen to any country age, but Bill Frisell certainly has albums which are heavily country influenced. And
that is very true, actually. He plays some real bluegrass stuff, without a doubt. Well, here we go. What's Andy got for us? He said he likes this one. He said, how about a bit of Josh Turner? And it could be ideal for, if not Christmas Day, maybe for, it could be the anthem perhaps for Boxing Day. Josh Turner with Heating Things Up.
Got to the party and there you go. No clue what you do, how you drive me crazy. My train of thoughts already on driving you home. I try to stay in a conversation and follow what friends are saying. My eyes catch your eyes and my mind goes off on us. I do my best to act like I don't know what's waiting. Hard to keep it cool with you heating things up. So hard to keep it cool with you heating things up. I nod my head and join in with the laughter, all the while hoping
And Andy assured me that his voice wasn't slowed down. I mean, I don't know how he gets down there. It's rich and it's his real voice, but that's an amazing bass or baritone voice that Josh Turner's got there, heating things up, which is what quite a lot of us might well be doing tomorrow. Not with hula hoops, though. I'm just going to put Ian's theory to the test with his hula hoops and see how.
Causing all sorts of things in the microphone there.
I know, we'll just see.
Crunch.
Not bad.
Crunch.
Not bad.
That was his tooth.
You'd be disappointed if it was a silent hula hoop, wouldn't you, really? You'd be...
Well, I'd send them back if it was a silent hula hoop. And
It's like a cracker that doesn't crack. I mean, where's the fun in that?
Well, yeah. I thought about bringing some crackers today, but I don't know if we get away with it in the studio. Maybe not. Didn't want to set off the fire alarms. At least you're safe with them. You're safe with the hula hoops from that point of view. We were, from a jazz point of view, we were not that long ago at the London Jazz Festival, and again where you get fantastically. We mentioned Fergus McCready there, but a great eclectic mix of music.
Very eclectic mix of music. And in fact, I was just thinking that this year I've pretty much seen everybody's style of music, and you too. I mean, we saw lots of different folk acts at Cruinniuc, which is a great festival for the island. If you don't know it, then you really ought to. It encompasses all kinds of styles of folk music and associated music. I always get taken as a treat by my mother-in-law to the White Horse at Stowpain for part of their Brassed Off festival, which runs through the summer holidays. They have a band playing every Sunday night, and it was the Downton band this time. Ian, I don't know if you've heard of them. But the Jazz Festival, as you say, lots of different venues. Unusually for us, we went to several venues which we'd never been to before, because over many, many years of the London Jazz Festival, we primarily have found ourselves either at the Barbican or the South Bank Centre or the Queen Elizabeth Hall or the Festival Hall. And we didn't go to any of those, or indeed the Cadogan Hall, which we didn't go to again. But the first night that we were there, we went to see these two acts, Fergus McCready, who you mentioned, and a young trumpeter, again, multi-prize winning, former BBC Young Jazz Musician of the Year, Laura Jurd, with her band, and definite folk influence going on here as well. We'll hear a little bit from her. Laura Jurd on trumpet there with her band, with Ruth Goller on the bass, a very, very electric, eclectic, rocky sort of sound on the bass, Corey Dick on the drums, and Ori on the viola, playing electric viola, but definite folk influences from the Scottish side of her upbringing, she said.
It almost sounded like there's an accordion in there too.
Well, she plays accordion as well, so there's when they were playing live, it was just a straight quartet, but
Right.
there's an accordion drone, which... I don't know the instrument. Perhaps you do. It's a little bit like an Indian
Oh,
instrument.
shruti box.
It was like a shruti box, but yeah.
Shooty box.
No, that was like a jazz reel, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
And again, getting back to what we were saying before, I think you could have happily played that on the folk show, and it equally drops into jumping in very happily as well with those sort of folk influences. Well, this is, if you've just joined us, or if you've just woken up, or maybe just whatever the case may be, it is a very special Christmas, which we have every year here at Manx Radio. It's all the specialists, or as many as we can muster, around the table. Sadly, 2 of our number are not with us this year for various reasons, but the rest of us are here enjoying the best that Manx Radio has to offer: Satsumas, sausage rolls, hula hoops, Nosecco, and the best in plastic glassware. Always lovely to have your company. I'll slow things down a little bit from the point of view of Sweet and Swing, which is a programme I inherited from the old maestro, as I call him, our dad, Jim, who did it for many a year. And in essence, it is the older form of jazz in many ways. Some people think it's jazz, other people think more nostalgia. It's a lot of the big band music, the swing music, the music from late 20s, through the sort of 30s and 40s before we really got into sort of the bebop era. So certainly the prime time of the big band and the swing era, and so many wonderful artists there. And it is festive, and I think Ernie played a Christmas one earlier on, so I'm going to do another Christmas theme. I probably played it last year, maybe the year before as well, but you know what? Christmas time is that sort of time, isn't it, where you play favourite music and Christmas carols, Christmas songs. People just want to hear the songs they've heard for all of their life, in the vast majority of cases. And this one, I don't know when I first heard it, when Dad probably played it to me, and it was Claude Thornhill's Orchestra, and a lovely track which is very appropriate, or should be very appropriate for this time of year, called Snowfall. Snowfall, Claude Thornhill and his orchestra. It just seems so evocative. Although, I don't know, anyone remember the last time we actually had a white Christmas on the Isle of Man?
No.
I can't.
A few years
I can think of the last time we had snow, maybe, but I can't remember the last time we had a true white Christmas. Which I think on the Isle of Man it means they have to have a snow falling at Ronaldsway, or there has to be a sort of snowflakes recorded down at Ronaldsway or something. And there might be I think just a little bit over the mountain apparently doesn't count as white Christmas. It's got to
I
be.
can remember a wet Christmas, if that helps.
Oh,
That's every Christmas.
very rare.
That is virtually every Christmas. Yes. Well, look at that. My glasses.
Well,
now.
it would be strange
Well-
if us top secret recording this slightly in advance. It was a white Christmas today.
Yes. Well, yeah. I could have done it now, couldn't I? Having said that, oh, thank you. And look at that, I've drained the bottle now. That was the last. I'm sorry if anyone else wanted any more. It's that's all gone. And well, I did ask the Treasury here at Manx Radio if we could get more than one bottle this year, and after a lot of thought, the answer was no. Right, here we go. We're going to around the week just to keep things in order so we don't lose track again. So we're back to Ian again with another choice of music, and we've been speaking quite a lot about brass bands and such like, but and your sort of life in brass bands and how they play a part in culture as well.
Well, this isn't really separate from brass bands, although it's not a brass band performance. One of the countries that is really foremost, apart from Britain, is Norway. And I was in Stavanger with a band in 1966, and really there was no sense that people had ever heard of a brass band. There were marching bands and girls in short skirts with jingly
Twindly, yeah, the old pop-ons.
But a band, even a marching band, was not something that they were used to. And I hesitate to say that it was our visit that was the catalyst, but certainly from that time on, bands in Norway expanded tremendously. And some of the Norwegian bands are just so well known worldwide that you can't believe that the tradition is so recent. And there are three particular bands. There's the Stavanger band itself, one called Ikanger Bjørsvik, and another called Manga. And there used to be a joke going round brass band circles that if you wanted to succeed with a brass band in Norway, you had to call it something ending in anger. But the situation in Norway has now been mirrored in virtually every other country in Europe. I can't think of any in Spain, though there may well be some. But the Scandinavian countries, Sweden and Denmark, Germany, France is coming on board, and the Benelux countries have all got very, very good bands. And in fact, the current European champion is a Belgian band. So we have spread the gospel of brass banding, not only European-wide, but also worldwide. And I think there's something about it which makes it accessible to everybody, irrespective of age, because you get youngsters playing in brass bands at age 8, 9, 10, and you get old men like myself who are involved with brass banding. And there is no way in which brass bands are now looked down upon, except by those who really have very little grounds for saying anything adverse. So that's another of my little preaches.
Yeah.
But you want to know about this next piece?
Next piece of music, yeah. What do you got for us?
It led into that actually, because the band that you're going to hear is actually the Ikanger Bjørsvik band, and it's playing a piece of Norwegian music because it's by Grieg. And the thing that Grieg wrote was a suite of various types of performance or style. Mm-hmm. And this one is called the Sigurd the Crusader, Sigurd Josselvar. And Sigurd was a king of Norway, and therefore, by definition, in the 13th century, a king of man as well.
Naturally.
So we've got our own connection there. But innermost all, as if there wasn't enough fighting in the Northern Hemisphere to satisfy him, he went off to the Crusades, and he actually went to Jerusalem and fought in Jerusalem and came home as well. And that was it was important enough for Grieg to think that this is something that needs recording in music, and so the suite Sigurd the Crusader is very highly regarded, and it's part of that the homage march from Sigurd the Crusader that I want to bring in tonight.
another lovely piece there. And again, it's becoming a theme this evening. You think were Morris Powell here with us this evening, I could see him nodding his head to that and thinking, yeah, I could happily play that on a little light music, the classical programme that goes out every Thursday night at 9 o'clock, as indeed, 9 o'clock, as you see, that's the Nosecco taking hold. 9 o'clock, as indeed do all the specialist music programmes. And, we should mention them. If you haven't tried them before, make it your New Year's resolution to tune in at 9 o'clock on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday or Friday night. And you'll hear myself or Chris or any of the gentlemen, whether it's Ian or Ernie or Andy or Morris or John, with their specialisms. And you know what? They like to hear from the listeners. They are happy to take requests, I think, from time to time of people, things they might like to hear. I'm sure they'd be delighted to hear from you. And all of the shows, I can tell you now, if you're not available at 9 o'clock on a weekday night, it's too late for you for a school night, fear not, because all the programmes, whether it's the opera, whether it's the folk show, whether it's Time for Brass or whatever, they are all podcast, and you can find them all via the Manx Radio website or, of course, your favourite podcast provider, whoever that might be. Who's your favourite podcast provider, John? Have you got one other than Manx Radio?
Are we allowed to say? I tend to have Apple podcasts on my phone, I have to say, and that's where I pick up lots of great music and all sorts of other stuff as well.
Absolutely.
Quite a podcast fan, actually, myself, I have to say.
Yeah, well, it's a great way of finding new music, although the trouble is I find there's so many ways of accessing music now, and it doesn't matter what the music is, whether, again, it's classical, opera, folk, jazz, whatever. You know, you can get podcasts. Obviously, we've got CDs. Vinyl is still very big back in again with the kids coming back again. There's radio broadcasts. There's endless amounts of stuff on YouTube and various other digital platforms. And I'm thinking, well, there's still only 24 hours in the day, and I've only got one pair of ears. And I think, I already think I've got far more recorded music than I'll probably live to hear.
I know that's the thing. I don't listen to my CDs and records enough. I often think that, and I almost have to find time to sit down and get some vinyl out or get a CD out and actually sit in a darkened room and enjoy it to its full.
Yeah.
The thing about radio that has changed a lot, though, the likes of smart speakers and apps and phones and computers, which is how a lot of young people consume music in any case, that you can find yourself jumping all over the world now with no problem. You can simply say to whatever your radio app is, I'd like to listen to some folk or some jazz or some opera, and it'll bring all the stations on the planet that are transmitting music that fits in that genre. So you can find that you can leap all over the world and listen to lots of new music you've never come across before.
And you do have the advantage, as Howard said, that you can listen to programmes that when you were busy when it was being broadcast. It's so easy. I suppose the only problem with all this sort of stuff is the fact, if you do sit down and listen to the radio, you get surprised by things, and that might be documentaries, news, or music. Whereas if you're listening to podcasts, it's the same with a lot of social media, you hear the things you want, it expects you that you want to hear, and you perhaps don't get as surprised by music as you could be.
Yeah. And the only thing I always say as well when we're chatting on the jazz show sometimes is I feel, in my lifetime when I first started listening and we were listening via vinyl and then maybe onto CD and such like, the music would come in small sort of chunks. We'd go away, we'd buy some LPs, and later on we'd buy some CDs or maybe order some things through, and you'd listen to them intently, and I felt I got to know the music very, very well. Now there is so much music coming our way in so many different ways that scarcely before I've listened to, the latest Laura Jerd album, there's another album out here, another album out there, and another album coming here, and then Laura Jerd's got another one out, and I'm thinking, I've barely got to hear the last album before the next one's out again, and you sometimes think, it's wonderful in a way to think it's so vibrant and there's so much music coming on, but then again, I sometimes wonder that whole thing of how much I actually really listen to the music rather than just have it sort of playing away in the background as you're doing something else.
Yeah, and I think it's worrying that the art of the long player is under threat a little bit, perhaps by shuffle, in that there's a great art in putting an LP together. Like there would be at a concert, you'd have a certain dynamic to the concert, and you do the same with a record. And I think people listening to little snippets of something here and a snippet of something else, you lose that dynamic of a 45-minute, 50-minute, two sides of an LP or one CD.
Absolutely. But aren't you doing that every week when you produce your programme?
Yes, certainly. Yeah.
I suppose that is true.
But we try to build a dynamic into the programmes, though, don't we?
It's carefully crafted. Carefully crafted it is. As will be this next track. What else have you got for us?
Well, it's if I say a little bit about music that I've seen this year. We've had some wonderful acts at the Institute, and also, as I said, at the Centenary Centre within Cruniac, and particularly down at Erin Arts Centre. Lisa Knapp and Jerry Diver were fantastic as part of the Manannan Festival, which is another thing that includes jazz and all sorts of music as well. But coming up in January, we've got a very special concert. I was at a session a few weeks ago, sat next to our old friend Al Lawrence, who many of you will know, and he played a wonderful Dylan song, one of the ones that he often plays, One Too Many Mornings. And I said to him, you know what we should do? We should have a night at the Institute for charity where we have a whole night of Bob Dylan songs. And so we're going to do it. It's turned into quite a monster at the moment. So we've got Al, we've got myself, we've got my oldest son, Jack, is doing some acoustic. My younger son Tom is playing with his girlfriend Alex, and there's Susan Coyle and Mary Malloy all in the acoustic section, Josh Quay as well, and then we've got an electric section, so everyone will be shouting Judas as we pick up our Telecasters and plug in, and we've got a whole band featuring the likes of Heinrich Koop and Martin Thomas, and it's going to be a great night of acoustic and electric Dylan. And that's on the 17th of January, and we're raising money for the Great North Air Ambulance Service. So if you can get to that, that'd be lovely. So I thought we'd play some Dylan, and it's very uncharacteristic Bob Dylan, this, because it's quite fun.
Lord.
It's his Christmas song. And it's called, I forgot what it's called.
What is it called? It's called, have I got it down here?
It's
called...
something about Santa, isn't it?
It's something like that. It's Bob Dylan, anyway, talking about Christmas.
Who's got a beard that's long and white?
Santa's got a beard that's long and white.
Who comes round on special night?
Santa comes around on a special night.
Special night, beard that's white.
Must be Santa,
Must be Santa, must be Santa, Santa Claus. Who wears boots and suit of red?
Santa wears boots and suit of red.
Who wears a long cap on his head?
Santa wears a long cap on his head.
Cap on head, suit that's red. Special night, beard that's white.
Must be Santa,
Must be Santa, must be Santa, Santa Claus. Who's got a big red cherry nose?
Santa's got a big red cherry nose.
Who laughs this way, ho, ho, ho?
Santa laughs this way, ho, ho, ho.
Ho, 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 cherry nose, cap on head, suit that's red, special night, beard that's white. Must be Santa, must be Santa, must be Santa, Santa Claus. Ooh, very soon will come my way.
Santa very soon will come our way.
8 little reindeers pull his sleigh.
Santa's little reindeer pulled his sleigh.
Reindeer sleigh, come our way. Ho, 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 cherry nose, cap on head, suit that's red, special night, beard that's white. Must be Santa, must be Santa, must be Santa, Santa Claus.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Carter, Reagan, Bush, and Clinton. Reindeer sleigh, come our way.
Ho, 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 cherry nose, cap on head, suit that's red, special night, beard that's white. Must be Santa, must be Santa, must be Santa, Santa Claus. Must be Santa, must be Santa, must be Santa, Santa Claus.
You know what? Not only did we not remember what the track was, I wouldn't have recognised that as Dylan.
Well, he's playing with loads of great musicians from bands like Los Lobos, the Tex-Mex band. So it's a really well put together track, actually. And it does get quite a bit of airplay around this time of year.
Oh, quite right too. It's nice and upbeat and cheerful. It's just what you need around the sort of Christmassy time of the year. Ernie, we were just talking there a little earlier about sort of deep listening, or how you listen to the music. How's it for you with opera or whatever? Because I suppose, in a way, of all the music's opera, quite often sometimes it's harder to get snippets of because it tends to be arias and the pieces tend to be much more prolonged. Do you sort of sit down and listen to short bits, or will you sort of put a whole LP on and listen to a whole chunk in one opera over an evening, or how would it work for you?
Opera is really an audio-visual experience, so I have loads and loads of DVDs of operas, but you need 2 hours for some, or up to 5 hours for Meistersinger or whatever, to actually sit and wallow in the whole experience. So you tend to have favourite bits, if you like, that you listen to over and over again. On the Dylan thing there, "With God on My Mind" is one of the most sort of moving songs I think that there is. His writing is amazing.
He is a sort of poet, isn't he? With sort of with a musical background.
Poet laureate, in fact, and I think well deserved. I mean, his latest, about 3 or 4 years ago now, album was absolutely amazing. A whole 20-minute track about the assassination of JFK and just pouring words out. Quite amazing.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. And do you think with the opera, as you say, it is a visual thing? And it's something I got into much later in life because my sister worked in opera a long time, and she used to watch they'd occasionally screen things on BBC Two, and I couldn't quite sort of see the pleasure in watching them. And then when I saw opera live, and was sort of got the whole, the live atmosphere, the orchestra in the pit, the sort of costumes, the lights, and I thought, oh right, now it brought it to life. Do you think it does it justice on the small screen or not? Or?
Certain productions do. When COVID was on, the Metropolitan Opera were doing operas live, screened, and as well as getting what's actually happening on stage, where if you're sitting up in the gods, you've got a long distance view. They have all the camera close-ups, and in the intervals they have the interviews with the performers, and a lot of the background, some of the background to the operas that you wouldn't normally expect to get if you just went to a paid performance. So,
totally. They earn their money, don't they, when they're performing. The second they take a break, that they're live being interviewed.
Yeah. So,
and you can see the screenings, of course. That's the one thing, if you're an opera fan, that you can see some of the screenings from I think, down at the EAC.
Well, there's over here now, when I was on the Arts Council, we managed to get live relays at Ballacameen and the Studio Theatre at Ballacameen. King William's College do it in the King's Theatre there. And Air Arts Centre they can still do some of the Metropolitan Opera, so you can actually go and experience the live relays. It's nice to see something that's actually happening.
Yes. Yeah.
At the time, even though you're not in the theatre there.
It's on my New Year list. I've been saying to Pip down at the EAC, I'll come down, because he says, people like to dress up, some of them, and, they have a glass of wine at the interval and things, and make an evening of it. And I keep saying, I'll come do this, and I still haven't. So 2026, it's my New Year's resolution.
Very much a surprise the first time we had one at Ballacameen Theatre, because they went overboard to have pre-drinks and interval drinks, and it's a lovely night out.
If it's the ring cycle, bear in mind that's a lot of hula hoops and sausage rolls.
Yeah, we've almost exhausted our supply already. We'd only be through the overture on the ring cycle. What's your second piece of music? Is it opera or is it from the eclectic selection?
It is an opera singer, but it's a bit of the eclectic. It's crossover. A lot of music. People think that this is Brian Wilson's greatest composition that he made for the Beach Boys. It's Don't Talk, Put Your Head on My Shoulder, and it's Anne-Sophie von Otter, the Swedish mezzo-soprano.
I can hear so much in your sighs, and I can see so much in your eyes. There are words we both could say, but don't talk. Put your head on my shoulder. Come close, close your eyes and be still. Don't talk, take my hand and let me hear your heart beat. let's not think about tomorrow, but don't talk, put your head on my shoulder. Come close, close your eyes and be still. Don't talk, take my hand and listen to my heartbeat. Listen, listen, listen. Don't talk, put your head on my shoulder. Don't talk, close your eyes and be still. Don't talk, put your head on my shoulder. Don't talk, close your eyes and be still.
So that was Anne-Sophie Otto with the Beach Boys number "Put Your Head on My Shoulder."
And again, you do quite often come across this. You think Kiri Te Kanawa, I think she did a jazz album at one stage.
Michel Legrand.
Yeah, and it's sort of it's interesting because it's very different styles of singing, sort of singing in a jazz style and singing in a classical style, I guess. But you quite often do see this where the artists sort of cross over with varying degrees of success, I suppose, depending on your taste.
Some do it better than others.
Yeah.
Anne-Sophie Otto is brilliant. Kiri Te Kanawa sort of work.
Yeah.
Joni Mitchell, of course, had great bands full of jazz musicians for many years. Yeah, lots of different styles of singers come across. Interesting what you were saying before, both John, you were saying about curating music and about long playing records, but we've been fortunate to have Maria Schneider, the orchestra leader, on the programme, and her works nearly always to vinyl, with an option maybe to CD, but they're designed to be played as complete work, and there's a narrative to them, and she says she makes sure that all the musicians get paid properly. It's value for money. You get a thick booklet with lots of photographs, talks about the process of the compositions and everything else, but it's intended to be listened to as a suite of music in the list that she played it. And the other thing that struck me, we often play big bands, and I'm surprised constantly about how many big bands, new big bands, I can still find, and yet a lot of them with many young players in them. They're playing for the opportunity to play in a large ensemble. They're not playing for the money, because they'll go out and play gigs, but they barely cover their expenses quite often in going out to play. But a lot of the big ensembles, the Norwegian Wind Ensemble, for example, play brass music, they play jazz, they play opera, they play classical music. The two big German radio bands, the NDR and the WDR band, one day they'll be playing a jazz work, the next day they'll be playing an opera, the following day they'll be with a rock band, and the day after that they'll be doing a film score. So it's great that there's opportunities for young musicians to come up and get a chance to play all this incredible different music, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's true. I was just going to say before we go, because we were talking about the opera there, and you sometimes people always think that somehow of all the musics we've been discussing around the table, opera is sort of seen as somehow being elitist, which I wouldn't necessarily say it is at all, but sometimes people find it hard to get into. If you think if someone's never experienced opera before and wanted to, toe the water, would you have a suggestion of a good opera for someone to start if they've never really listened to opera music before?
Probably the most popular operas, the likes of Carmen and La Bohème, certainly a better.
Could be music that people will recognise.
Yes, somebody's first experience was, as Chris said earlier, the Ring Cycle. It could put them off for life,
There's some good. I haven't heard the whole thing, but there's some cracking melodies in there. It has to be said.
Better than Valkyries.
Yeah. I mean, wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. Have you got any more cracking melodies on the jazz front then? Seems we're getting back down to
Well, not so much a jazz, but a Christmas classic. What's Christmas without Bing?
bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. What fun to ride and sing in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. Oh, what fun to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, we have a lot of fun. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
If I can pick up on some of the points that have just been made, almost all the specialisms that are represented here can be represented in a well-constructed brass band concert, and they could be a footstep towards going to those origins.
Yes.
And enjoying that as well. It's very easy to get yourself into a mindset that I haven't heard it because I don't like it, and a mindset like that can be assisted by being given an entree to the specialism that you're trying to bring out.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Indeed. And I think, categorization is what you're saying as well, can quite often put people off without giving a fair oaring. I mean, jazz and our programs, for example, not straight the black American introduction via the blues and that path into it, but a lot of modern jazz comes in via folk or rock or indeed musical theatre, all kinds of different pathways into it, very, very different.
Film music, of course, as well. 'Cause,
Yes.
if you hear a brass band playing the John Dunbar theme from Chances with Wolves, it's fantastic.
You could go to a fairly representative brass band concert, and you will have some opera, you will have some orchestral work, you'll have some jazz, you'll have some folk music, and of course you'll have the staples of brass band as well, which is
some James Bond music usually quite often.
And people who've never been inside a church can enjoy a well arranged hymn.
Yes.
Or a piece of music based on a hymn, and the repertoire of brass bands is just so wide that it can be an open door into other kinds of music.
Absolutely, absolutely. Speaking of other kinds of music, of course, we'll have another country track. Andy not with us this evening, and sadly Morris isn't either, but we will have a little bit more on the country front. And as we've said, we actually a few people here listening around. I confess I'm not an expert on the country music and don't tend to listen to it at all, but Ernie was saying you enjoy quite a bit, and there's, as Chris was saying earlier on when we had the first track, the Heating Things Up, that someone like Bill Frisell in the jazz front certainly links into it, and I'm sure there's plenty of links to a degree through sort of bluegrass and such like, which crossover between the folk and the country side of things. I should have played this one earlier on, really, just when John was opening the bottle of Nosecco. This is a man I have seen quite a bit knocking around, and I think he's doing a tour of Britain, either has just done one or doing one coming up. A massive star on the country scene in contemporary times, Scott McCreery, and he has a huge following, I see, and I see him cropping up on social media and the like, and very popular. Looks like a nice bloke as well from the bits of video I've seen on him. I should have played this one when you open the Nosecco, because this one is simply called Bottle Rockets.
Everybody's got a summer that they can't forget. They hold on to and go back to. Your mind's on the Carolina coast, still burning in my mind like a red sunset. Chasing embers till September, what I remember most. Bottle rockets in the sky, bare feet in the sand, bonfire in her eyes, cold beer in a can, moonlight on the waves, her kiss in the dark, the smile on her face when she'd make me break out of my guitar and play. Hold my hand, hold my hand. I can still feel her fingers wrapped up in mine, can still hear her laughing, see her dancing. You're making more than that sundress spin. Who says you can't go back in time? Yeah, when that song, it comes on, I'm on rewind and I'm 17 again. Bottle rockets in the sky, bare feet in the sand, bonfire in her eyes, cold beer in a can, moonlight on the waves, her kiss in the dark, the smile on her face when she'd make me break out of my guitar and play. Hold my hand, I want you to hold my hand, hold my hand. Oh, I got a hand for you. Yeah, I got a hand for you. I wanna run with you. Wanna let me run with you. Bottle rockets in the sky, bare feet in the sand, bonfire in her eyes, cold beer in a can, moonlight on the waves, her kiss in the dark, the smile on her face when she'd make me break out of my guitar and play. Hold my hand, I want you to hold my hand, hold my hand. I'll take you to the promised land. Maybe we can't change the world, but I wanna love you the best that I can. Bottle rockets in the sky, the best that I can. Bare feet in the sand, oh, the best that I can. Bonfire in her eyes, oh, I wanna love you the best that I can.
Oh, look, you can tell we're getting towards the end of things because the Satsumas have made an appearance. John is heading for the healthy option there, and it's just not as dramatic as opening the bottle, though, is it, John? It's just...
I'm doing my best.
No,
Sound effects here.
that's not bad. I could hear that. Satsumas ahoy. No pudding, 'cause there's too much mess in Comprod here at Manx Radio. But it's always nice to actually get round to this time of the year and just. It's a time for celebrating music and a time for celebrating friends and food and all the rest of it. Any particular tracks that people always listen to at Christmas? You know, something you have to have, and if you haven't heard it, I'm not talking about Wham, obviously, and all the rest of it, but if you don't feel your Christmas is complete unless you've heard a particular track. Anyone got one of those? I know you mentioned Bing to a degree. I think you'd be shortchanged if you didn't hear a bit of Bing.
If I didn't hear Bing and I didn't hear Frosty the Snowman from Perry Como, that would be another one.
Anything for you, John? Or?
Well, there's a couple really. I mean, there's one I think I played on this programme last year, which is Lindisfarne's Winter Song, which is a very mellow and meaningful tune, which is lovely. But on the silly side of things, there's a band that I do love, a rock band called Eels. And there's their song which is called, it's going to be something this Christmas. You know what, and I've forgotten what that thing is.
Close enough.
Yeah, find out. Listen to my folk show from last week. It's on there.
Well, listen, I've got one here, which as we head towards the end of the programme, and I thought this is a sort of crossover between our two shows, between Jumping In and Sweet and Swing, and it's Dave McKenna, wonderful pianist, and he did a Christmas album a while back. We haven't really spoken about it. Maybe next year we'll talk about Christmas albums, because they are a bit of a curate's egg, aren't they? I mean, sometimes Christmas albums, or perhaps oft in some people's eyes, they're dreadful and schmaltzy and awful.
Every so often, many folk ones.
Every so often you get some really good ones. So maybe next year we might make that a theme, possibly some Christmas albums done by our various specialisms. But this one I thought was a bit of a winner as well, that Dave McKenna, the pianist, did a while back. And here's a track which he calls, very aptly I would say, because no one wants blues, Don't Want No Blues This Christmas. Great track, great pianist as well, and perhaps one of the better Christmas albums. They come out every year, and maybe next year, Christmas 2026, perhaps we'll talk more about that. Stay tuned. There's something to look forward to already. We were just saying favourites or something you have to hear in order to make your Christmas complete. You've got one as well, Ernie, have you?
One song which it doesn't. There's two versions of it. One is a country version. The other is your big band spit and swing version. It's A Cradle in Bethlehem.
Ah, yes.
Nat King Cole on one hand, or Vince Gill on the other hand. They both do a fantastic version of that song. I don't know which one I prefer the most.
Sing sweet and low a lullaby till angels say amen. A mother tonight is rocking a cradle in Bethlehem, while wise men follow through the dark, a star that beckons them. A mother tonight is rocking a cradle in Bethlehem. A little child shall lead them, the prophet said of old. In storm and tempest, heed them until the bell is tolled. Sing sweet and low your lullaby till angels say amen. A mother tonight is rocking a cradle in Bethlehem.
Sing sweet and low your lullaby till angels sing amen.
A mother tonight is rocking a cradle in Bethlehem.
Sorry. Now I've overcome the effects of the Nosecco. I remember that the Eels song is called Everything's Going to Be Cool This Christmas.
Ah.
Yeah.
What about you, Ian? Any special track or a track you really like to hear for Christmas, or if you don't hear it?
One that I always go to. There's an A side and a B side, and the A side is "Bless Your Whiskers, Father Christmas."
Very appropriate.
And on the B side, it's "What's Christmas Without a Brass Band?"
Well,
and I think there's a message there.
There is. There is indeed.
Is there something you've been trying to tell us tonight?
and the message goes all the year round as well.
Yeah.
If you've got a prejudice against brass bands, don't hang on to your prejudice. Go and listen to them.
Yeah.
And in the Isle of Man, there are some absolutely cracking bands. And you don't have to go a long way to hear them.
Totally not.
And that is true of virtually every place in the country and getting to be every country in the world. So my message and my target is promote brass band.
Brass band music. And you could say the same, I think, for any of the musics around the table. Don't, as you say, don't prejudice music if you just don't know it. I haven't really listened to it. It's all music. It's all different. Some people like some people like the other. And as I hope have given you a hint this evening, we all have our specialisms, and yet we all enjoy the other musics we're playing this evening or this afternoon. And we very much hope that you have enjoyed listening to us as well, as we've demolished all of the sausage rolls bar 3, all the Prosecco, long gone I'm afraid, on Nosecco, and some of the healthy Satsumas are disappearing, and most of the hula hoops have gone as well. It's been a pleasure to be in your company again with our very special Christmas this year. Thanks ever so much for listening. Do enjoy the rest of your Christmas. I'm sure everyone around the table will join me with wishing our colleague Maurice Powell a speedy recovery, and we hope to see him here around the festive specialist Christmas table next year.
Here. Get well soon, Maurice.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll play a little bit of music for Maurice to see us out, I think. But for now, from the specialists around the table this Christmas, Ian Cottier, Ernie Thorn, Chris Caine, John Barker, myself, Howard, and Andy Wint, who'll be listening, probably, I imagine, or he might have fallen asleep by now, who knows, or he's probably on air somewhere else.
And remember, if you didn't enjoy one thing, hopefully we brought you a bit of the other on Christmas.
There'll be something there. It just remains for us all to say and wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Happy
Christmas.
Happy Christmas and a Merry New Year. The other way round.